Man, oh man, welcome back in to Slaughterhouse Sports. And guys, we have an absolutely massive hire by the Baltimore Ravens. They hire one of the best rising young defensive coordinators in all of college football. So this year, Georgia Tech had a great season. I mean, they start out the year where they go out and they beat Florida State, and that was before Florida State absolutely cratered. They go over to Ireland. They get a huge win with Brent. This year, they also were able to beat Miami at home. They also had a terrific comeback against NC State. I believe that they won 8 games. They could have went 7-5 also. They also played Georgia about as tough as anybody as tough. They've played Georgia as tough as they have played Georgia in the past, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years since Kirby Smart was maybe in his first year. I mean, they took Georgia to all those overtimes, to all those 2-point conversions. And a large reason why Georgia Tech was so fantastic, or a massive reason why, is because of Tyler Santucci. Now, Tyler Santucci, I believe, was an absolutely excellent hire from Duke University. So Duke University, Tyler Santucci was helping create that defense with Mike Elko. And Santucci's 36 years old. He went to Stony Brook. He's from New Kensington, Pennsylvania. And basically, Mike Elko saw that Santucci was a gem. And Mike Elko, I believe, caused some of the best defenses in all of football. And he's done that at Texas A&M. He did that at a high level with Jimbo Fisher. And then this year, he helped, craft a really good defensive team that would wreak havoc on, some of the SEC. And Mike Elko, I have a ton of respect for what he did at Duke. And pretty much at Duke, with what you're working with a lot of the time at Duke, you're working with less, and you're taking 3-star players and you're developing them, and you're finding creative ways and creative schemes to get guys free to make plays on the defensive side of the ball. And that's why Georgia Tech was attracted to Tyler Santucci, because Santucci had been with Mike Elko for about 4 or 5 years. And then this year, Santucci got pretty much his own room at Georgia Tech and got to call the defense. And he did a spectacular job this year with Georgia Tech football. They played very sound ball, and there were even some games without Haynes King this year. Georgia Tech would, a lot of times they'd bring everybody up to the line of scrimmage, and then they would bail, and then they'd find ways to blitz. And really, John Harbaugh, because of all the coaches that have worked in that Ravens system, I mean, you have Wink Martindale, Rex Ryan has worked in that system. For the New York Giants, they had Wink Martindale pretty much. And then, of course, if we go to Michigan, Jesse Minter worked with Jim Harbaugh. And then Mike McDonald, the coach of the Seattle Seahawks, he was under Jim Harbaugh or under John Harbaugh for a lot of time, and then went to Michigan with Jim Harbaugh. So the Harbaughs and Michigan and defensive football has been excellent. And even Zach Orr looks like the next great coach that is coming from the Baltimore Ravens tree. So Mike McDonald really, coming from that tree. And then just really solid defense with Wink, great linebacker play, unbelievable development, Eric DeCosta. And then they had long-time general manager Ozzie Newsome from Alabama, who pretty much ran the Ravens for about 20 years. And in terms of analytics, in terms of scheme and game plan, I know I'm wearing a Steelers shirt, and I got this pretty cool Steelers shirt over the summer. I like Arthur Smith. That's why I wear the shirt. But the Baltimore Ravens are just one of the Baltimore Ravens football team is one of the most well-run organizations. And now they're getting Tyler Santucci. And I believe that Santucci was also getting interest too from the Arizona Cardinals, because the Arizona Cardinals lost their linebacker coach to the Virginia Tech Hokies. But really, John Harbaugh has such a track record of putting coaches in the NFL and allowing them, to be defensive coordinators. You look at Anthony Weaver, who's a defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, and then you also have Denard Wilson, who's down in Tennessee. These guys are probably going to go on to be head coaches. So Santucci, what he was able to do is he was able to kind of fast track his career here with Baltimore. And even though Zach Orr is calling plays, he's still going to be an integral part of Baltimore Raven football and of that culture and of that defense. And he'll get to work with like Kyle Hamilton. He'll get to work with Roquan Smith. So for Santucci, even though he's not going to be calling defense, still for his development as a coach, it's tough to pass up the opportunity to go to the Baltimore Ravens. So I totally understand it. This is a big blow for Georgia Tech football. Brent Key has done a phenomenal job of staffing. He has that offensive coordinator that was able to, I think that offensive coordinator, Bubba Faulkner, I want to say his name is Faulkner. He is a really good offensive coordinator. I'm surprised. Yeah, Buster Faulkner. I'm surprised that Georgia is not interested in Faulkner. Faulkner is an absolute stud as an offensive coordinator who comes up with really creative wrinkles, utilize Haynes King, and Brent Key gets the most out of his players, and so did Santucci as well. So just pretty much recapping here, Tyler Santucci has been one of the best young defensive coordinators in all of college football. And the Ravens are getting another great coach to add to their roster of coaches. And that is what is transpiring today. And this will be a big hole that Brent Key has to fill. And I'm very curious to see what direction Georgia Tech goes in now getting a play caller here in Atlanta to keep preserving the upward momentum of the Yellow Jackets. So we will see.